Welcome back, everyone, to another WandaVision breakdown. So, episode 6 came out today, and I'm gonna record this video before the weekend gets busy. So, let's get started. We get these this episode is supposed to be like a mix of like the 80s and 90s sitcoms, I guess, or I don't know, 90s and early 2000s. I don't know. But now Quicksilver became part of the family, but apparently. So, Wanda and Vision kind of had an argument, and it's because Vision wants to go for something called the Watch. Well, no, not from the Mandalorian, but like it's called the Night Watch, which is basically like a group that is supposed to stop people from like toilet papering, which always seems to happen on Halloween. But anyway, so Pietro comes in and he's like, I'll just take care of the kids. You got nothing to worry about. And then yeah, and then Vision's like, thanks, and then he pretty much leaves. And then we also have this weird sequence where Billy, or wait, I think that's yeah, Billy just keeps staring at the camera, but yeah. And then what's also funny about this is also an Easter egg, by the way. So Pietro just pretty much takes pretty much they basically speed out and they go back in as fast as they could, and they pretty much change it so that this guy looks taller and this guy looks younger, and they pretty much grab it. It was funny. Also, this is an Easter egg to Quicksilver's costume in the comics, and also Tommy has a similar one, but yeah. Then pretty much they're on trick or treating. Also, no, Wanda had brought kids in here somehow, which is probably because of after Vision started asking why are they not the children of Westview? Because yeah. So and then Vision or not Vision, Quicksilver or Pietro and Tommy and Billy just basically cause a lot of mischief around the neighborhood. Which, come to think of it, where's Vision? Anyway, then we also get an ad for something called Yo Magic, which actually I kind of hate this ad. So this is probably the worst ad in the entire series, but yeah. Now over with Sword, Monica Rambeau and Hayward get into an argument where Monica's like, "Why didn't you tell me that the drones were armed?" And then after that, Darcy's like, "Oh wow, look who it is! It's the guy who almost got murdered by his own squad." And then after that, Hayward kind of gets mad at that, so he's like, Do you work for me?" And then Monica's like, "No, she's with me. What are you talking about?" And then and then Hayward's like, um, Wanda was never gonna negotiate with us, and we just take her out. This would be so much easier. And then, Jimmy Woo's trying to be more sympathetic and stuff like that. But Hayward's like, no, we need to take her out so that we can get Vision's body back and save all these people. And then Monica's like, if Wanda is the problem, then she has to be our solution. And then um, and then Hayward pretty much says how Monica hasn't really been like uh Hayward is kind of like taking some verbal jabs at Wanda or not Wanda, Monica. So what ends up happening is he has to end up kicking all of them out. He basically kicks them out of the camp. And then what ends up happening is they're actually able to take out the guards, and because obviously Wu's in the FBI and Monica has obviously had some sort of fight training, so yeah. So they pretty much kicked them out, and then they pretty much dressed up as sword agents, which that was kind of a weird outfit, but yeah. But they really should have been covering their face. Also, this is kind of a callback to Ant-Man and the Wasp because Scott Lang and his buddies did this on Wu, so obviously this is kind of funny that like, now he's taking it from him. So yeah. So basically they're able to hack into Sword's thing. Also, this is another callback to not Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming because Darcy pretty much does the exact same thing that Ned does to help Peter. So in this case, like because Darcy's hacking Swords like computers and stuff to figure out like what's really going on in Westview, because everybody knows that Hayward is obviously hiding something, but of course they don't. But of course he wouldn't say it. So and then Ned does the exact same thing because he's able to change the mode on Peter's new suit in Homecoming. But yeah, so then what ends up happening is Monica's like, "Oh, my aerospace engineer is going to be here in an hour, so I just need to go meet him off on the ridge." And then Darcy just says, "Oh, well, you can't do that because Hayward has your blood scan, and also every time you go into the hex, which is basically what they're calling Westview, underneath the anomaly, the Maximoff anomaly, they're pretty much calling it the hex, but I'm just going to call it that too. So pretty much Darcy says that the hex will change your blood, and every time you do it, it'll change you. But of course, Monica's like, nah, I don't really have a problem with that. And then they pretty much just leave her. And then yeah, and then no, over in the hex, I'm just gonna call it that still. Um, Vision is doing his night watch thing, whatever, and then he notices that on the like basically where Pietro, Wanda, and all the other kids are, they're in the center of the city. Now on like the outer part of the city, and then the outer part of the city, people are starting to stand still and they almost look like zombies and it's really creepy. So obviously Vision pulls a Superman move and he pretty much goes up to the sky to investigate. And he sees Agnes in her car, so obviously he goes to check on her because obviously he knows her. So obviously Agnes is like, "What are you doing?" And then after that, he has to do the exact same thing that he actually did on Norm, and then Agnes starts freaking out, and he's like, "You're one of the Avengers. Are you here to help us?" And then Vision's like, "What's an Avenger?" So this pretty much proves that Vision has no memories of himself from Age of Ultron. So that's gonna cause some problems. Then Vision's like, "I'm trying to get out of Westview, so can you help me?" And then pretty much Agnes says there is no way of getting out of Westview. Wanda won't even let us think about it. And then uh and then pretty much she freaks out. So Vision has to turn her back into the happy-go-lucky Agnes, Auntie Agnes. Apparently. So then Vision gets ready to exit the hexagon, which is also near a street called Ellis, which I'll get to later. But yeah, now over with Pietro and Wanda, they're just talking and letting the kids do their own thing, and then obviously Tommy is like having fun with his powers, and it's kind of funny. While Billy is just like just like going tagging along, and they pretty much sit down and they have a chat while also by the way before that happens, Billy and Tommy, they pretty much ask Wanda, can we go, do you guys need to watch us or something like that? And then they're like, yeah, but you just need to like but you just have to like not go near Ellis Street because Ellis Street is where the border of Westview is. So obviously if they go there, something's gonna happen to them. Anyway, so they pretty much have a chat, and Pietro's trying to ask her, how did you do this? And stuff like that. And Wanda doesn't want to admit it, but then Pietro's like, look, I'm not a stranger. I'm not Vision. I'm your brother. So pretty much she tells him, I have no idea how any of this started. And then pretty much once she looks back at him, he's dead. Kind of like what happened to Vision in episode 4. But yeah, then after that, he turns back into normal because Wanda was just thinking about that. And then pretty much Billy can sense that something is off. Wait, yeah, Billy can sense something is off, so he ends up using his powers. Also, his powers are not the same color as his mom's because his mom's are red, while his is like blue. But yeah, also, notes. All the costumes that all the characters are wearing are basically their comic book costumes. Like for example, Vision is basically wearing his comic book one because in the MCU they basically change the costumes to make it adapt to the big screen, which is fine, but sometimes they look really bad. And one of those examples is Vision's costume. Like yeah, so anyway, Vision gets outside of the hex and he is pretty much asking the sword agents to help them, but and he pretty much asks all the sword agents to help them, and Sword is just standing there watching, and they're not even doing anything. And Darcy tries to run out there and help him, but then the exact same sword agent who tried to shoot Wanda basically arrests her, kind of, and then Vision's like asking them to help, but not for him, but just help the people. Kind of a noble move. And actually, not kind of, actually, basically a noble move. And then Darcy's like, and then Darcy kind of feels bad, so she really wants to help him, but then he's being handcuffed to a door, to a truck, or yeah, like a car or something. And then yeah, so Billy can sense something is off, so he obviously goes to his mom, and then his mom is like, "What happened?" Then he's like, "Dad's in danger" or something like that. And then after Pietro does a really stupid move, and I actually saw this in a leaked scene, but the quality was really bad, so I couldn't really see what was happening. But yeah, but something like this was happening. It was where Pietro was saying, "Oh, your husband is not gonna die twice," and then after that, Wanda gets really mad at that, so she basically used her powers to throw him onto the graves, which I think is supposed to be a callback to the fact that he should be in a grave right now, but I don't know. Anyway, so then she's like, "Okay, I need you to focus. Now, where can you see him?" And then she said, and then this, and then Billy says, "I see soldiers," so that obviously tells her that it's Sword. So she pretty much spreads the border, and unfortunately for Darcy, Darcy was handcuffed to a car, so she can't move because cars are really heavy apparently, so she can't move now, and now she's being sucked in there. Now that's probably going to be a detail saved for next week's episode, but I'm not sure though. And then all the other sword agents starts fleeing, and Darcy can't, and then the only people who are able to escape are Hayward and Monica and Jimmy Woo. So Yeah, so that was all the stuff that I saw in this week's episode, and all that stuff. And there's probably a bunch of Easter eggs I missed. Tell me all the ones that you thought down below. And before I end the video, I will debunk a couple of theories because this episode had some reveals. So obviously, the first one is that Agnes is some sort of like Agnes is the villain of the series. Agnes is like the villain of the series. Well, now I think that after you watch the scene, we can confirm now for sure that she is not the villain because Agnes is supposed to be a character named Agatha Harkness, which she is supposed to be like a villain and she's kind of a witch like Wanda and Doctor Strange. Well, she's basically a magic user, but yeah. So I don't think she is a villain because if she was, then obviously she would know. Now, apparently, what's like really weird is that certain people are not able to be controlled by Wanda in like entirely, and those people are specifically people like Agnes, Herb, Vision, Tommy, Billy, and Pietro apparently. So that's what's weird, and also Monica because all the sword agents that basically try to enter Westview. Yeah, so pretty much that's what happens, and I'm not sure though if Agnes is still the villain. Now I did think that she was the villain because last week's episode, when I first saw that scene of the reveal that Sparky the dog had died, I actually thought that Agnes killed him, but I guess that's not true. I guess like Agnes like stepped out. I don't know what happened, but honestly, yeah. Tell me all your theories in the down below. So pretty much the other theory that I want to debunk right now is the fact that the other one that I want to talk about is Hayward. Now Hayward is pretty much the annoying Hayward is like basically he's basically shown as the villain of the series, but what's annoying about it is that he's working for Sword, which is supposed to be like a good organization, like basically the new Shield, and that's fine. But what's annoying is that Hayward is like has some issues with superpowered beings. And the reason why, oh, also another reason why Monica is more sympathetic towards Wanda is because she has actually met superpowered beings before. So obviously she has no problem with people like Wanda. But of course, Hayward won't accept that. And Hayward even mentions her relationship with Carol Danvers in the Captain Marvel film, which we might see in Captain Marvel too, but that ain't coming for a while. So, yeah, pretty much. And yeah, so Hayward is being pitched as the main villain of the series. Now, what's really weird is that is Hayward knows lots more about the Westview anomaly than he should because he seems to know a lot of stuff. Like in episode 4, he cut off Darcy, this person right here, when Darcy was talking about CMBR because he literally says that was relic radiation dating back to the Big Bang. So that was weird. That means he knows more than he should. Also, what's also weird is that Hayward said that Vision in his lifetime said that he did not want to be resurrected just to be used as a weapon, which is pretty much what Sword has been doing because they're pretty much taking him apart, basically using his parts as weapons. Because literally why Sword stands for Sentient Weapons Observation and Response. But yeah, department. I forgot that. Yeah, that's just a weird thing about Hayward. But yeah, that's all for now. But just like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for getting this far. If you hit the thumbs up, if you like it, hit thumbs down if you don't. But just be nice in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.